Uh, Stephen, in your introduction, one of the things you'd mentioned
Yeah.
is kind of helping somebody run a successful 6 to maybe 7 year figure business. Sorry, 6 to 7 figure business is.
Mhm.
What's the timeline, right? If somebody comes into you, maybe somebody a little nerdy, right? Maybe
Yeah.
has some skills financially, but they come to you and they say, "Hey, I'd like to build this business." What's the timeline that you lay out to them? What's the expectation there?
Yeah, it really varies, and so I don't like to give people like, oh, you're going to make 6 figures in 6 months because it's just
Yeah.
not realistic. We have had people make 6 figures. I think the fastest was 4 months, but that's like a super rare top student, crazy. She made a big investment in a product, right? So it sold for a lot more money. So definitely not typical. We do have in our community someone crossing the 6 figure mark we just did the math on this for this year, every 11.7 days on average. We have a new person crossing 6 figures, but not everyone does, right? So I would say timeline, if you're going to go, I'm going to start an e-commerce business, like I wouldn't just do it on a willy nilly, just like, oh, it's just like, impulse. I'm going to go start an e-commerce business. It's a commitment, like 9 months to 2 year commitment to really get this thing going where you're actually seeing money come out of it.
Okay.
Because the biggest part of the e-commerce, it just takes time, like to manufacture something, to get a sample, to ship it. That stuff's, you can't be as fast as like making a digital product and selling it on Instagram, right? Like that can happen a lot faster, but physical products, they take time, but it's worth it. Because you can really scale them up. Once you have a product that works, you can really get it in front of more people, scale it up. And then ultimately, you're building enterprise value in the business. And these businesses are very sellable because once you get them to the point of being very passive and you're just restocking inventory, maybe you have a couple VAs in there running things, they're very attractive to investors who just want to pick up another income source. They'll just buy an already, done Amazon business that is generating revenue.
How much capital, right? You mentioned maybe a startup 9 to maybe 2 years. How much capital should somebody have to get something up and going?
Yeah, we recommend 15 to 25,000 is a good number to just like mentally have in as far as like business
Mhm.
expenses within the first year. Of course, you see, all spectrum. We've had people start with $0 and we teach them resourcefulness and they're, being scrappy and selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace. And we've seen that work, right? We've also seen people come in with like, oh, I was saving up for this franchise and I ended up doing Amazon. I put 100,000 in. But I think, on average, 15 to 20K 15 to 25K will get you access to, a coach, a mentor of some sort. It'll also give you money for inventory and then restocking inventory. And that really starts get you, out the gate strong. So you can do it for less, but that's usually what we recommend, just mentally having in your mind 15 to 25K, and starting there. Yeah.
The one of the stats you shared is somebody crossing that 6 figure mark in 11.7 days or ish, right? 12
Yeah,
days.
on average. So every like basically, what is that, two weeks in our community. So we have a community of families doing this. Another family hits the 6 figure mark. We give out these awards. That's one on the wall over there. And so that's
Mhm.
how we track that, because they go claim the award and they send us their screenshot. Like, I made 6 figures. And that's top line revenue. Of course, it's just really the beginning of these businesses.
Mhm.
But it's a cool milestone to celebrate.
Now, how much time does somebody realistically need to have for this to be successful?
Yeah. I would say it's definitely kind of like a part-time, like,
Mhm.
job, right? Like, I think Amazon back in 2018, it could be a very light side hustle. Like you're just in there 1 hour here and there. But now, especially the learning curve, I think it's something you gotta, it's like pretending you're going to school, right? Like, and you're just going to devote an hour or two a day towards something. That'd be what is that? 7 to 14 hours a week, right? So kind of part-time, I think that's doable. Of course, there are seasons where it may be more intense. And then there's seasons where you can really tone back, especially after you get your product launched. Like, there's some maintenance, but it can become a lot more time leveraged.
Mhm.
But oftentimes people catch the bug and they're like, oh, I'm going to launch another product. I'm going to launch another. And they just keep going. But I would say 7 to 14 hours a week is a good mental commitment if you're going to do this.
You want to see the entire episode? Click here. If you want to learn how investors use infinite banking to increase their returns and lower their taxes, click here. If If you want to see if infinite banking is for you and you have some questions, hop on a discovery call with us and one of our coaches. The link for that will be in the description.